Hey guys, Nicole here with Obscure Reptiles and Caging, and today we are cutting our third clutch from 2023. So let's get started. Guys, so I just got home from work. Been a really crazy day, but we have our third clutch. Our first three clutches have all been pied clutches. We're gonna show you guys an egg cutting video. Every time I've ever tried to do this, the babies either start to come out on their own or something's always come up and gotten in the way, so I haven't been able to film one of these. So it's gonna be our first egg cutting video. So the thing I'm going to show you guys is there are several ways to do it. You can use these little like surgical scissors. They have a sharp version. And I prefer this rounded version just because when you do stick this in to cut the egg, I just feel like it protects them a little bit more. The babies are always towards the bottom of the egg, so when you go to cut these, you really don't stab them, so these are good to use, but this is just something that makes me feel more comfortable. And we just opened a brand new clean razor. So I'm going to show you both versions, show you what I like about each of them. This is actually from our girl Tess. One of the eggs are actually molded, but I wanted to show you guys. Let me just go down here for you. So as you can see, this egg right here is incredibly moldy, but we left it in here because there's still movement. We can still see stuff going on in the egg, so it should actually be pretty good. And a good way to know your eggs are getting close to actually being able to hatch is they're going to come apart very easily like that, because normally they're stuck together. You're still going to want to keep them in the same orientation, but they'll be easier to peel apart like that. Just comes right apart because they're getting very, very close. They should hatch and be coming out on their own any day now, which is why it's okay to do this, but we're going to leave this moldy egg till the end. And another good thing you can do it right in the beginning sometimes. I do it, you do this so you know where the top is. You want to use a non-toxic marker, and then that way if anything ever rolls, you can correct it and fix it. But let me just pull these apart real quick. Alright, so the first one I'll show you guys is when you actually put these eggs directly onto the vermiculite or perlite like this is, they normally stay very plump right until they're going to hatch. If you actually keep them up off the perlite or vermiculite, they tend to shrivel down like this one because it was towards the top a little bit. It makes it a little bit easier to cut them. I like them being directly on there. I think it's easier, and I can nestle them so they don't roll. So it's completely up to you what you prefer. I've also got a little flashlight here. Let me grab it. So this female normal pied was paired to a G-Nex Leopard Pastel pied and a Mojave pied. So I'm guessing Mojave pied, he normally is the dad, but we're going to, I'm going to use the duller, or the rounded one, just because it's what I prefer. So normally what you do, start on one side. It will be gooey, and you may also see a little bit of red. That's totally fine. It's just there are veins on the tops of these, but right before they're going to hatch, the veins actually fall to the bottom, which I have a good photo of. I'll see if I can get it for you, but this is going to be a little bit messy. It always is. So I actually think the G-Nex is the dad. So to me, we're going to use this flashlight, and I might cut a little bit of a circle out so you guys can see. So actually the veins in this one have already fallen. So that's a really good sign. Again, they're about to hatch. They stay out of the way when you cut. But you can see the red right there? Those are actually the veins have fallen off. So this is some kind of pastel, probably a pastel leopard or a pastel leopard G-Nex like the father. But it's definitely pastel based on how light it is. His little head's over here. Hopefully you guys will be able to see this alright. But looks like a low, all these will be pied also. So this looks like a pastel, possibly leopard, possibly G-Nex pied. And this next one, I'll show you guys the razor. You're just going to be very gentle and you do like, again, a half moon shape. It's a little bit harder to control, I feel, than the little snips. But so this one is laying upside down, so all we can see is the white. So that one is undetermined. This one's a very high white pied, but until we actually see this little one come out, it is just a high white, some type of pied. Another thing I don't really like is when you use the razor, you can't really push anything out of the way. I feel it's not as easily controlled, and you can't really control how deep you go, anything like that. But all the rest of these eggs are going to be a little bit difficult to actually pop through. I'll use the sharp ones once to show you guys. It's going to be the exact same thing. Again, when you hatch them not directly on the substrate like I do, it's not going to be so gooey, but because this is what I like to do, makes a little bit more of a mess that way. So this little one looks the same as the first. It's definitely a pastel pied, possibly a leopard. Compared to the other one, I would say this is a pastel pied. And the first one was a leopard, possibly Gene X. So, nice looking baby so far. I'm actually really surprised. Normally, the Mojave Pied is always the father when we pair him. But this season, he actually hasn't had any babies. We're going to go to these guys. Super excited with what we get. We've already gotten so many pieds this year, and actually the next clutch that'll be hatching is actually, I believe, the albino pieds. So this next one, again, definitely looks pastel with how light it is. It's actually very, very high white. So I'm not completely sure, but it's super exciting to see that the father was the Gene X. These babies should be hatching out fully in the next 1 to 2 days. As soon as they do, we're going to post pictures, updates, videos, stuff like that. But we got one more, and then we've got the little moldy egg. But yeah, if your eggs aren't, for example, they're not rotting, they're not having a smell to them, normally I will keep them. And it's very easy to tell when one is definitely bad, because they're going to smell, they're going to be a bit yellow or even green, and the whole thing will be covered in mold. So this one actually looks like a normal pied. All those little veins fall down. Possibly Gene X and possibly Leopard. This one's got some bright oranges, especially compared to the other ones. Now our final one, this little moldy guy. And I'll just use the same. I can actually tell, if you can see his pattern right there. Push right up against the top, because these eggs actually are very, very thin. You can see the pied brown and black right along the top. Hopefully you guys will be able to see that. But we'll open him up. Right there. Actually looks like another normal pied. But we got about 24-48 hours, and then these little ones are going to be coming out. We'll give you guys some updates. If you guys are interested in anything, please shoot us a message. You can go on our Facebook page, Twisted Reptiles, or you can go to our website, twistedreptiles.com. We are also doing cages and racks for local pickup in Buffalo, by Buffalo, New York again, at Obscure Reptiles and Caging. But that's it for this video. If you guys have any questions, you can put them in the comments below. If you haven't already, please subscribe. We do new videos a few times a week. So I'll see you guys in the next video.